Hi there, I'm Justin or PBJ, and I'm going to be ranking every single minigame in Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, before this video begins, this video is strictly my opinion, meaning you might have a different opinion. And you know what? That's what's great about the internet. So keep in mind, like I said, my opinion, you can have different opinions, and some of my picks may be a little controversial, but please don't go down into the comments and write, angry things, because like I said, my opinion. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to see more ranking videos, make sure you subscribe and give this video a like. Ladies and gentlemen, we're almost at 50 subscribers. We're one away, so you might as well subscribe if you're new. Why haven't you subscribed yet? I think you should. Go ahead and subscribe. Well, anyways, 50 subscribers. When I hit 50 subscribers, I'll be eating 1 squirt of maple syrup for every time somebody is subscribed to me. And I'll be shouting you out for your contribution to making me extremely unhealthy. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ranked. Okay, so by far, the worst game in all of Fall Guys is Royal Fumble. Royal Fumble is basically, it's tail tag, but there's only one tail, and it's a finale. So it's the end game. You might think, oh, it's supposed to be so intense, it's supposed to be fair. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Royal Fumble is not fair at all. It is, in fact, probably one of the most unfair games in Fall Guys. That's why I ranked it so low. First of all, only one person spawns with a tail. It's not like it's in the middle and you have to grab the tail. No. You're very wrong about that. One person starts out with the tail. Who is this person? It's completely random. You don't know who it is. It could be you, it could be anybody else. And that's why it's not good. Because if you start out with the tail, every time I have played Royal Fumble, I am not joking, every single time, the person who starts with the tail is the person who wins the game. It's all luck and absolutely no skill whatsoever. It is completely bogus. It's BS. It's literally BS. So 24 is tail tag. Now tail tag is very similar to Royal Fumble. In fact, it's basically the same thing, but just a little different. So in tail tag, it's a bit more fair, but not nearly as fair. But so instead of one person spawning with a tail, now a couple of other people spawn with a tail, which is great. That makes it a bit better. But I don't know what the programmers say. I know this is an indie game, and I can judge this however I want, but come on, man. The physics in tail tag, it gives me a headache. It gives me a headache. When I have a tail, and people are trying to chase after me, they can literally grab my tail like 10 feet away from me. But when I try to grab a guy, I literally have to hold on to them for 5 seconds. And I don't even get the tail when that happens. Alright, so my 23rd pick is Jinx. Jinx! When I first played it, I thought, wow, that's going to be cool. It's just like Infection. Well, it's not exactly Infection. It's actually more of a carbon copy that just reeks of unoriginality. It really isn't fun. It's a little jank, if I were to say. It's not exactly the infectors win if they infect everyone. You're based on different teams, and you can only go after the team. It was a bit confusing at first for me, and I think a lot of people were confused at first, because normally Infection you have the one side that is not infected, one side that is infected, and that's not what it is. It's very reminiscent of those, but it's actually nothing like it. And there's also no way for the survivors to defend against themselves, so that just eliminates a part of Infection. Like Halo and Call of Duty, you can defend yourself, and this one, you can't. Okay, my next pick is Team Tail Tag. Now, I hate tail tag just in general, but this is probably the best tail tag game. Why is this the best tail tag game? Well, because you stand a bit more of a chance. Now there are 4 teams and it's a bit easier to grab tails, which is nice. However, this one is extremely boring. It's not fun, and you just kind of run around and just do nothing. If you saw my Fall Guys video with Rocco, I sped through that whole footage because nothing interesting happens in that game. Legitimately, nothing interesting happens in that game. Okay, my next pick is Rock and Roll. So, no, this is not the song Rock and Roll. No, this is where you push a ball down a hill. And competition, there's 2 other teams. Not bad. But it's literally pushing a ball down a hill. I could get more enjoyment, like literally going outside and doing that. I could get more enjoyment from that. Literally all you do in this game is hold down the W key. That's all you do. Nothing interesting. You literally roll ball down a hill. And sure, you can go after other people's balls and try to stop them, but once they hit the hill where it just goes down, there's no stopping it. It's boring, and it's too fast. Literally, the games last like 5 seconds long. Alright, my next pick is Fall Ball. Now, Fall Ball, it gives me a headache when I play this one. Fall Ball is basically soccer. It's Fall Guys' take on soccer. Now, I wouldn't have a problem with this game if 100% of the time it didn't come up either the game has too many people and it gets you overcrowded, or it's so little there's only 12 people left and you get split 6 versus 6, which doesn't sound bad. But here's the problem, ladies and gentlemen. There are 2 balls. And that doesn't necessarily pose a problem. It could be good in some ways. But then another thing, there's a football that falls down. What does that have to do? Nothing. It doesn't give you any points. But then there's a golden egg that falls down and gives you, I'm not even joking, 7 points. 1 egg gives you 7 points. That makes absolutely no sense. Another thing with this game, you would think that a game specifically designed around soccer would have good physics. I mean, Rocket League has really good physics. I don't like that game a lot, but I can admit that, yes, the car physics and how the ball works and stuff like that is realistic, and it feels as it should. The physics in this one, well, this is basically before gravity was invented. This is what this game is. This is a historical representation of what gravity, before gravity existed. Okay, so my next pick is Perfect Match. Now, a lot of you are wondering, why did I rank this one super low? And it might just be a personal problem, but when I play this game, it's far too easy. It is far too easy to win this game. Far too easy to lose this game, sorry. And along with that, nobody gets eliminated with this one. It's a complete time waster. It's literally a complete time waster. I have had so many games where nobody dies. Nobody falls off and nothing happens. It's so boring. All you have to do is memorize, which sounds fun, but it just really isn't, because what a lot of people do is just find the big group and then just go to the big group. It's mindless. It's literally mindless. Okay, my next pick is Hoopsie Daisy. Now, a lot of people don't have a problem with this game, but I do. I have a big problem with this game. In fact, this game, man, is so boring. All I do is run around in a circle because anywhere you try to go, somebody else just steals your hoop. So you kind of have to main a hoop. And every time that happens, all you do is jump through a hoop. Whoopee frickin' do, man. So interesting. I love jumping through hoops. No, ladies and gentlemen, it is not interesting to jump through a hoop for like 2 minutes straight. Not fun at all. Literally not fun. Like, at all. Like, I have no intrinsic value in this game. But, it's boring. It's boring, it's mindless. And really, it just comes down to how good your team plays and if you can get the golden rings. Okay, my next pick is Tiptoe. Tiptoe is where there are some squares and you don't know what squares they are, but some squares you can pass right through them, and some squares are physical and leads a path towards the end, and it's a race towards the end. And my problem with this is that either there can be so many people in this one. There can be so many people in this one, and if there's a lot of people, you just fall off. It's not because you decided to take a risk and jump over the platform or whatever. No. It's because there are too many people and they can just throw you off. They can throw you off, and sometimes that works in some games. But in this one, it's about racing, not about throwing each other off. And most of the time, people are just too scared to even go. The only time people actually advance is throwing each other off of the thing. And it's not fun. And it really all comes down to if you cannot get pushed off. Even if it's a small game, it doesn't matter, man. If you get knocked off when they're right about to cross that finish line, well, you can kiss yourself a nice return to the lobby, because that's exactly what's going to happen. Okay, my next pick is Egg Scramble. Now, Egg Scramble is a bit of a boring one. You basically just have to take eggs and you have to put them in your base and simultaneously try to get the other team's eggs and put them into your base. Now, this wouldn't be so bad, apart from the fact that the physics in this game are just off the walls bonkers, man. They are all over the place in this game, like physics. Okay, I don't know if you saw my Fall Guys video, but in mine, my egg just kept flying out of my hands. And even when I play it now, it still does that. It still flies out of my hands. And you can't jump with the eggs. If you jump, they like fly halfway across the map. There's also hackers in this one. I have experienced many hackers. Haven't gotten them on camera though, unfortunately. But hackers can definitely ruin this one, where they just steal all the golden eggs and it just doesn't make it fun. It's also just very boring. It's not a very interesting game, if you ask me. Okay, my next is Seesaw. Now, Seesaw is a racing game, and basically there are seesaws, and you have to jump on the seesaws. And obviously a seesaw works where the person who's heavier, whatever has the most weight, goes down, and the other side goes up. Now, this wouldn't be a problem if it wasn't for so many people. This is either at the start of the game or the second level. And there's still a good majority of people, at least 40 people, are playing Seesaw. And there are a lot of people who just like to camp at the bottom of the seesaw and not let you continue. And it's so annoying. It is actually annoying. And another thing too, I've had so many circumstances where the thing is not even at a big angle, and I just ragdoll right off of that thing. Like, ragdoll, just fall down and restart. And it is very annoying, this game. Okay, my next pick is Hoarders. So Hoarders is almost identical to Egg Scramble. Why do I rank this higher than Egg Scramble? Well, I rank it a bit higher. Number one, it's a bit more fair. Yes, it is a ball game, so there are giant balls, and you have to push them into your thing, and you can steal other people's balls. The ball physics are actually better in this one than they are in soccer for some reason. You'd think it'd be better in soccer, but it's not. And I don't understand, but that's how it is. Yeah, this game is just very boring. It's mediocre, I would say. It's very boring. That's why it's basically in the middle of the row. It's very uninteresting. All you do is just kind of watch to make sure your balls don't leave and let balls go in. That's about all you do. It's kind of boring, and yeah. That's where I rank it, where it is. Okay, the next one that I have is Fruit Shoot. Fruit Shoot is very simple and fun, which is great. Fruits shoot at you while you're walking up a conveyor belt, and logs can also fall too, which is odd considering it's called Fruit Shoot. But this one is very simple, and the easy strategy is to just stick to the left or right side. It's very easy to not fall off. You can get hit, but it's not instant death. But the physics can be a little screwy, especially the fruit, and just when you get hit, like sometimes you'll get hit and you fly halfway across the map, and sometimes you'll get hit and it's like barely even a dent on your Fall Guy. Okay, my next is DoorDash. No, this is not the DoorDash what you're thinking of where they give you food. This is not that type of DoorDash, no. DoorDash is where there are some doors that are fake and you can't go through, and there are some that open up. This is not very fun at all. You can easily go through. I don't think I've ever lost a single game of DoorDash. There is one part at the end where everybody basically falls, and it's basically a mad dash towards the end, and that's where a lot of people mess up at. And it's very chaotic down there because you're just getting bounced around all over the place, and it basically is a halting point. And I feel like if they didn't have that, I feel like it would actually kind of make it a bit better. There's also weird physics where when the gate crashes, there's like a little bump right above it, so if you jump at the wrong time, you'll fall face first and you'll actually get slowed down, which is very odd, but you can easily go through it. Alright, my next pick is Gate Crash. Gate Crash is very similar to DoorDash. I mean, they literally basically rhyme. Gate Crash is boring and uneventful, and all you do is you just kind of wait for the gate to lower down so you can get through. Not much goes on in this one. You just kind of wait. You got to be very patient. You got to be patient in this one. If you're not patient, you try to outmaneuver the system. It can work sometimes. Most of the time, it doesn't work. Sometimes the gates can be a little screwy, like they wait for super long sometimes, and then they instantly shoot down. Sometimes it's a very glitchy one, I would say, or maybe it's intentional. I don't know. Okay, my next pick is Dizzy Heights. Dizzy Heights is a little too easy. I've never lost a single game of Dizzy Heights. All you do is you go on these spinning platforms. It's not hard to fall off. I don't even think there's a single part where you can actually die and fall off. There's not a single part in this. I mean, it's a little fun to kind of just shoot around the map. That's fun. But there's one above this, actually two above this, where I feel like it's a bit better. Okay, so my next one is Hit Parade. This one actually requires a bit of skill. There's lots of obstacles that try to get you. There's balance beams. There's all this cool stuff. And it's a lot of fun. It's very challenging, I would say. I've lost a couple of Hit Parade games. But this one is also extremely easy. I rate all of these racing games very similar because at the end of the day, they're racing games. You just try to get to the end. They are very similar. Some of them are better than others. And that's where our next pick comes in, which is the Whirligig. The Whirligig is the best racing one, the best base racing one by far. What's cool is it's funny. It is funny to watch your guy just fly across the map, getting hit back and forth. It is hilarious to see how even other people do that. This one, what I like about this one is that towards the end, there's this risk-reward sort of thing where you can take the middle, but it's extremely difficult to go through the middle, but you have a shortcut. Or you can go on the sides where it's a bit easier to get across, but you go a bit slower. You have to go around the whole perimeter, which I like. That's great because, you know, some people will try to go for it, and some people won't. That's great. It allows the people in the back to catch up and give them a fair chance, which is great. It gives everyone a fair chance. This one's a lot of fun. The windmills can be a little annoying at times, but most of the time this is a funny one. Okay, my next pick is Jump Club. Jump Club is basically where there's two things and they spin around and they basically try to hit you. This one is just simple and fun. It's really all too easy to not fall off, though. All you have to do is you have to wait for the bottom one to come and you jump over that and you follow that one. Now, there is one thing called the Hell Jump where both of them are aligned in the same position and it's extremely difficult to go through them. And yeah, that's when it's easy to fall off. But otherwise, this game is super easy to beat, and yeah. Okay, my next pick is Slime Climb. Now, I personally do not like this one. I'm not good at this one. I suck at this one. However, this is in fact, a awesome racing one. This is awesome. It's great, and it's challenging. It is very challenging. Slime rises when you try to go through the course, and if you mess up, you know, it's literally a race to the finish. Not only against other people, but it's the game itself. You're literally trying to beat the game itself, which is great, and it's fun, and yeah. There you go. Alright, now, we're cracking the top 5 now. So, my number 5 pick is Fall Mountain. Now, Fall Mountain is another racing game. And you race to the top, and the first person to get there to reach the crown wins. This is an end game, basically. This is the finale. These are one of the finale games. And it's fun. However, there are certain cases where it can come down to RNG, unfortunately. I think that's where a lot of these finale games come down to. Sometimes they can come down to RNG. And yeah, it can suck when you're in the back, in the middle. It sucks. But this one is alright. I mean, it's number 5, so don't get me wrong. I don't like this one, but it's alright. Okay, number 4 is Block Party. Now, Block Party is basically where blocks come and you have to try to avoid the blocks. Very simple, very fun. Can get extremely intense, however. If there is one thing I have to critique about this one, it's that A, either everyone's really good at it and no one falls off, or B, there's toxic people. Toxic people that will push you off. I had this one where this guy dragged me across the map and then he threw me off the map, and I couldn't do a thing about it. And that really hurts this game. That's why it's not any higher. And I like this one, but toxic people can just ruin it for me. Okay, number 3. My number 3 pick is Rollout. Rollout is where there are, I think, 4 rolling platforms that have varying things. There's like 3 stilts you have to get past. There's a big jump with walls and stuff like that. And this one is a lot of fun. This one is very intense. These are ones that really get your hands all sweaty because of how intense the action is. And it's a very interesting take on survival. I have actually never seen anything like this quite like it. It's very interesting. It's very intense. You're fighting against everybody else, and it can get very intense. I've had many close calls on this one, and yeah, that's why it's number 3. Okay. Now, the number 2. Some of you may be disappointed by where I, put this, but again, this is my opinion, so trigger warning ahead. My number 2 pick is Hexagon. Hexagon is action-packed. It's also probably the fairest. It is the fairest game. It's the fairest game in entirety of Fall Guys. You all spawn on your own platforms. Sure, you could say, you can get lucky. You can spawn next to open slots, but I personally have never seen that really work all that well. It really doesn't matter if that actually happens. But this one is fun. It's just like TNT Run. This game is all skill and absolutely no luck. I'm no good at this one. And yeah, this one's a lot of fun. Like I said, there's a lot of strategy and skill into this one. You have to plan your fall. There's a lot. You can get cut off at any moment. This game is a lot of fun. However, I believe that there is one game that shines above the rest. It's a shining star of an example of what many games in this game should be from now on. I believe that game to be, drum roll please, Showdown. Now, some of you may have no clue what Showdown is, because it is very rare. But if you have played Showdown, ladies and gentlemen, you know how fun this one is. Showdown is basically like Jump Club, except now there's a bit of a twist to it. Now there's 2 more things that swing around and try to kill you, so it's a bit more difficult because, as I said, Jump Club, fun, but not really that difficult. This one is simple and fun. However, it's extremely difficult, and it's very nerve-wracking. What is also a nice addition to this one that I believe makes it higher than Jump Club is that platforms can fall. They can fall down and be completely eliminated. So you have to think fast. You have to think on your feet. while a spinning blade comes around to try to knock you off the course. This one is a real doozy, I would say. Very nerve-wracking. And yeah, that is my number 1 pick. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of this video. If you enjoyed, give this video a like. If you didn't enjoy, go ahead and leave a dislike. If you want to see more Fall Guys videos with Rocco, because I'm sure he'll gladly play those, make sure you comment and say, I want to see more Fall Guys videos. If you made it this far, comment, tail tag sucks. And my name is Justin, or PBJ. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, have a nice day. Peace.
Waste my life, I can't escape my mind.